Cool. There we go. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Notice this big light that's on me today. It's lighter than usual.
You're well illuminated.
Yeah. Ugh, I feel like a spotlight's on me now. It's usually not this bright. It's normally like dim, like a brownout. This is now. It's on me. It's light. It's being HD. I don't like it. Hello, everyone out there. Hello, hello. Tuesday night. What that means? It is Tuesday night, right? Okay.
Yeah.
It is Tuesday.
That would be really messed up if it wasn't. Oh, I can go off here then. Thanks. Um, yeah, thanks everyone for being here. We got a great panel for you tonight. We're going to talk about some interesting things in comics, indie comics. We're going to talk about some great projects that we've been following closely, uh, and get into the good stuff very soon. Chris Fisk says, "Hail, Chris." Here we go. I'm gonna roll the intro. You guys sit tight. Here we go.
The following program contains violence, disturbing imagery, nudity, and oh my god, why are you even watching this? Just run away. This shit is going to give you nightmares. For real. The program is rated TV MA NSFW OMFG GAF TTV BYGAS. Why are you still here? Seriously, don't watch this. We can't warn you strongly enough. Do you need a doctor of some kind? What is the matter with you?
Hello, everyone out there. It is Tuesday again. It must be time for Indie Vote Live Wire. I'm your host, one of your hosts. We're down one today. Randy Zimmerman is out this evening. We'll get better soon. Randy, feel better. He's been fighting off a viral infection, but he's halfway through it now. So he told us go on tonight, do the show proud. He hoped to return on Thursday Breakfast Buzz. So anyway, I'm Vernon Grant, founder of Indie Vote Media LLC, making comics since 2008, and I'm here as always with the beautiful indie princess Lola. How are you?
I am getting better, guys. I'm getting there. Got all my homework caught up finally. My energy's coming back. Just no appetite still. But yeah, I am the EIC over at IndieVolt.com. I handle all the good stuff.
Awesome. Hey, guys, it's Eric Hodson here, creator of Dread Dinosaur Man. Happy to be here. And yeah, let's get to our awesome guests.
Am I the awesome guest?
Yeah, we'll go you first. Go ahead.
Nah, I was just messing, bro. No, it's my man's first time. I was actually going to give him the honors to go first.
All right, go
Absolutely.
ahead.
Yeah, so my name's John Mbuzi. I'm the creator of Aslan, The Awakening. And I'm happy to be on the show.
Cool. I'm happy to have you here. I think that we love having new people on because we get to abuse them a little bit. No,
don't abuse me.
Oh man.
It's always cool to have new people on. Especially, I looked at your project earlier. I thought it was really cool, so I'm excited to talk to you about it. Because Lola sends me the links before the show every day now. Sometimes I don't know if you guys know this, but in the early days, I used to see stuff like as you seen it. Like I never got to see it like beforehand, so my reaction was in real time, which is kind of cool, but at the same time, it could be off-putting if maybe they put the art up for somebody I didn't like. Ill. And Tori, how about you, sir?
Hey, my name is Tori Quintrell Hill. They call me Tori Q Hill. This is my second time on the show? Third time on the show. I actually love this podcast. But guys, I created the network. We are dropping very, very soon. I actually came on the show to kind of hang out with some buddies, though. We're going to talk about my project for sure, but I get a lot of game from these people on this panel, and it's amazing. And I'm just here to kind of listen in and chime in when I can.
Cool. I do have a card ready, Eric. I'm going to bring that up. Before I do that, though, let me see here. There we go. Got one card ready. I had to actually pull from our email.
Joe wants to know, are we crowning a goat tonight?
We will be. That's one of the discussions I want to bring up. There was a talk about who's the greatest in indie comics right now, and if it's based on sales or how many people you bring into the industry, and we'll talk about that. I want to bring up Roger's question, though. I have a question from ROJ Raj, which might mean, might mean, I was going to say Republic of Justice, but let me bring it up. I will have to put it here in the main picture lobby so that I can pull it up, because otherwise it's not going to work. All right, here we go. Where did he go?
Sorry. You and your technical difficulties.
Well, every day, man. It's something.
Nita's in the chat and Meredith is in the chat.
Hello, ladies.
How's it going, ladies?
Nita and Meredith, they're managers of social media platforms, so of campaigns through social media. So they help you not look bad, like so many artists do. You know, Nita is married to a creator, and Meredith is one, and Nita's done some writing herself, so they know what it takes.
Nita says, treat him right, V, because I was a total bitch the first time we met.
Will do. Eric, here's your first question, sir.
All right.
Here's your big moment.
Okay. Raj asks, do you all feel that Comic-Cons are pretty friggin' toxic? Cliques and more sinister groups and promoters who kiss the rings of talentless hacks. Thank you for writing in, Raj.
It hurts, Raj. It hurts, Raj. I'm a talentless hack. What are you talking about?
He's personally attacking you.
Yes. I feel attacked. Hey, there's Scott. There he is. Hey, Scott.
Scott, welcome to the program.
But
I'll answer.
Yeah, what's up?
Chime in.
Yeah, cons can be toxic. There are cliques, and they'll try to push out people who they don't like, but just stay away from them. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, you get into some of these shows, and it's almost like, unless you're fit into a certain box that the certain promoter likes, you don't really get promoted. You don't get, and there's also those that do all the sucking up too, that are just always kind of there in the way, and you wonder, like, how's this person getting a free table or a free booth when they do absolutely nothing or close to nothing. So yeah, you just gotta kind of look out for it, recognize it, and like Princess said, avoid it. I think it's amazing. Nita says, no more toxic than this online bullshit. Just saying. Isn't it weird how pretty much any group of human beings turns into high school at some point?
Yeah.
No matter how old you are.
Yeah, I mean, it is really it's weird that we have that. Like you said, it normally devolves into high school stuff. I think you can put the smartest people together in a room, and eventually it will, devolve into high school shenanigans. At the same time, when it comes to cons, yeah, I mean, I've seen it. We traveled a lot over this country, and from different Comic-Cons to the next, and I love going like away from like my normal area, because you get to meet a whole new group of artists that you never met. I remember being told before, it was a guy, he told me, he said the Florida comic scene was very indie comic scene was very toxic. That's what he told me. I was like, can't be any worse than Michigan. He says, oh no, man, you move down here for a year and see how you fare. And I was like, yeah, I don't live in Florida. I live in Michigan. So, and then meeting more people who are in Florida, some of them have told me, no, that's accurate. That's fair. It's pretty bad. It's very cliquey. Promoters will align with a creator and keep you out of a show. If they buy another show, you could be kept out of that too. It gets really bad. So, those shows can get toxic from a professional standpoint. You could get kept out of shows. Let me look at the chat here and see what people are saying. Let's see here. So yeah, put your head down and do your work and get to it. Yeah, I mean that's all you really can do. You can't, you're not gonna fight it. You're not gonna be able to beat them. So yeah, let me see here. And I will put up the next topic. Give me 1 second. I have to throw it over into the chat.
Hey, you mind if I say something to Raj?
Yeah.
Hey, Raj. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if my comic book is gonna do the numbers that I want it to do. Like I don't have a clue. All I have is belief in what I'm doing. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't, it's back to the drawing board. But you can't concern yourself with nonsense like that. Like that's nonsense simply because you don't really focus on the scoreboard or who's playing. You just play your hardest. Your prime opponent is yourself. Focus on self and being better every single day. And that's all you can do. And usually that's enough. Just keep your head down like that chat person said and just keep grinding, go hard. Sooner or later, they'll be clicking around you and you'll remember. And then it's up to you how you going to treat them. So, yeah, just stay focused, Raj. Seriously.
John, do you want to say anything about that?
I've never been to one, so I don't have anything to say about it.
Oh, so after you go to your first one, then you're gonna
Now I'm like, oh wow, that's how it's gonna be.
You'll come back with a whole new perspective, and we'll be able to say, so how was it? I am interested. Do you have a con coming up, Ajanu?
I have a comic book coming up.
A Comic Con coming up. Are you planning on doing any shows?
No. This is my first comic book, so I don't have anything to go to even show. It's not even done yet.
I'd be interested to know how your first con goes for you. What you take away from it, because I met some creators at SuperCon. I'm wearing the shirt for SuperCon a couple weeks ago, and it was their first show. And I bought their book. I haven't read it yet, but they told me, they said, yeah, we learned a lot. It's our first show. And I'm like, I told them, I said, guys, look, I've been doing this since 2008, and I still learn things. Every show I learn something new, oh, I should do this or I shouldn't do that. And I'm pretty sure same for you, Eric. Every show teaches you something new.
Every Comic-Con is a different animal. It's been really eye-opening, especially this year, between the giant shows and the smaller ones I do, to kind of see the how the audience is reacting, post 2020, and how the shows themselves, like coming out of 2020, we've got two of the major promoters no longer exist anymore. They went out of business while we were all away and got sold or what have you, and rolled into other shows. And so I'm seeing a lot more of a really stiff competition between those big shows and the people there. Less, there may be the larger shows are a little more hesitant to spend. Smaller shows, that's the exact opposite. Some of the smaller shows I go to, people are so grateful to have shows back again. They're just like, throwing money at you like it's a strip club.
Yeah, I mean, I had to have I asked Lola to redo the numbers at one point. She came back with her numbers from a show. It was the show we did in South Dakota, and I'm like, wait, are you serious? And she's like, yeah. That's our number. That's what we made. And I was like, it didn't feel like that, but you know me,
Right.
I'm never at the table.
Well, no, that's interesting you bring that up because I've had several shows, and most of them were the smaller ones, where I wasn't, for me, there's like, I can tell when a show's going to be really great because I haven't had a chance to go to the bathroom much. I'm constantly drawing, or I haven't had anything to eat all day. I have to remind myself to drink water. That's just because the business is so booming. I've had plenty of shows where it hasn't been that way, and at the end of the day, you do the tally, like, oh my, how'd that happen?
Yeah, yeah. It's Scott, are you there yet? I know he says he's going to get his headphones. Not sure if it's
But I have a quick question.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you guys mentioned promoters. So are they like just people going around and like
Well, in this context,
introducing you guys?
no. In this context, they mean like convention promoters, people who run the convention.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, sometimes you can get a convention promoter who doesn't like you, doesn't like your art, doesn't feel you're a good fit. We've had it even with Indie Vault. I mean, outside of me being a comic book creator, I had people not want Indie Vault. I had a guy not want Indie Vault in his show. The first year, the second year he did, and it was it's not a comic book show. It's a different type of show that has art. Well, I can go ahead and say it's an anime show. And I was like, let's go and see if we can find some independent manga comics and see what's going on. First of all, I couldn't find any of those. I walked around that entire show and found none. I couldn't find one single indie manga book. They didn't exist to that show, and I was really upset about that. A lot of artists just no. And maybe I have a poor memory of that show because as I'm sitting there, I get Eric remembers this. I get a Eric had left. I think I watched Eric's table for like the last maybe the last 2 hours of that show. And I'm sitting there. My doctor messaged me and says, "Hey, you need to come back to the hospital. You need to come to the hospital immediately. You have MRSA." And I'm like, "Oh,
Wow.
I'm out here spreading MRSA around to people. I should probably leave." But I had made, in my defense, I had made a promise to my friend that I would watch his table for 2 hours, and I did it. Then I went home, and then I went to the hospital. And I stayed in the hospital for 11 days.
And he's never let me live it down since.
No,
Hey,
never.
My man, that's a friend, right? That's a true friend, bro.
I remember.
Wow.
I remember sitting there. It's like, I just do it to Eric Down. Well, hey, you hungry? Yeah. Remember the time I got MRSA and take the show for you? You got this right.
That's real, man.
But the promoters, I mean, John, the promoters can be. There's a lot of good ones. I mean, Miriam Kruger over at Motor City. She's the she does the artist alley. She's a good person to know. Mark Hodges over at Grand Rapids Comic Con.
Grand Rapids Comic Con coming up next month.
Yeah. These are promoters. There's so many of them. I know I'm leaving out people. I hate to name names because I end up forgetting people, but Bob Corby over at The Space, which is if you read Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics, it's a rite of passage for indie guys, and I've done it twice now. And I like to go back occasionally and see what's going on. It's a nice indie show. Very small.
That is a con that I only made money when I had my own independent books.
Yeah.
When I stopped selling the Melby comic and I was just doing art for a while, I didn't hardly make anything there.
Yeah.
So,
right. The fans who come there, they're not coming there for prints. They're not coming there for that X-Men, that cool Wolverine sketch you got. They're coming for. They want to see what indie book you got, and
that's part of what makes a convention. Conventions, different animals altogether, is who the audience is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
the audience at a giant convention isn't the same as a small convention. The audience at an anime convention isn't the same as a autograph show for movie stars.
Right. So are you guys ready to argue? Hey, Grant.
Really?
What we're here for, right?
Yep. All right. Here.
Hey, real quick, man.
Yeah.
Can you please let the audience know that the reason I keep looking down is because I'm eyeballing my 1-year-old.
Yeah.
Making sure okay.
Yeah. And
I just want to make sure they know. I don't want them to think we're rude or something.
And she's very cute, and she's We heard her. We saw her earlier, and she's there. She is. Yeah, yeah. She's beautiful.
She's drawing right now.
Oh, sweet.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You get them to
1
draw.
years old, man. She's got an Apple Pencil and an iPad.
I'm
Man, when I was 1 year old, I had a rock and I had a bigger rock, and I was happy.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to teach my son the finer points of inking. So
Oh, that's right, man.
I
Heck
can get
yeah.
that cheap labor. Like,
He needs to get to work on his book. Every
Yeah.
time I
What
see him,
is
hey, you
that
work on your
child
comic yet?
slavery, man?
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm like, think about the bargaining position. Hey, man, I heard mom took away your game system. Look, I don't know how to. I can go in like the DA. Look, I can knock 5 days off your sentence. You need this page. What do you got for me? What can you give me? I'll knock 5 days off your sentence. What do you?
You are too much.
You trying to get to that 5 Nights at Freddy's or what? What's going on? You know, I mean, hey, I heard they're dropping some new shit tomorrow. You know, you want to play it. I don't know why. Here we go, Eric.
Okay, topic number 1. Who is the top GOAT of indie comics? Who's bringing in new readers, elevating the art form, sales, opening the door for new talent? Who?
Here we go.
That's
Please
our
I'm
go
topic.
gonna
around
argue.
the room, bro. Please go around the room, bro.
Well, if it's a show, it's Indie Vote, of course.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
thought we
yeah,
were
yeah, there we
talking
go.
about
Yeah,
indie
yeah.
comic, period.
Yeah.
Point for Lola. There you go.
Did
I
I
mean,
listen
yeah.
to that wrong?
Yeah, no. She said if it's a show, if it's an
Oh
artist,
yeah,
though,
indie vote for
yeah,
sure, absolutely.
if
You
it's a
know, I'm just going to come out and say,
Geekgasm.
I'm
That's
just going to come
who's
out and
knocking
say,
it back.
Ethan Van Sciver, love him or hate him, he's done quite a lot for independent comics.
well, I will say that he's put a definite spotlight on the industry as far as the Grant said Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman. Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird also, I mean, they're guys who they kind of laid a roadmap that it was possible to do this, with the team with Ninja Turtles. That they last all the way to the bank. I think after them, it probably would be the Image guys. But I mean, if you're talking about right now, I mean, I think I may have to agree with Eric that I think he's doing big things. And then, I mean, you're always gonna have people say, "What's his name?" Oh crap! Can't believe I'm forgetting names now. Lady Death. The creative Lady Death.
Brian Pluto?
Brian Polito, that's right. Brian Polito, yeah, is also knocking it out the park. He's doing amazing things in indie comics. And we're not talking about, these people's, political sides. We're talking about what are they doing for the industry? What are they doing for comics? I got to go with those two. Dreaded, you said, Johnny, what do you think? Anybody, who brought you into comics? Was it any particular indie artist or?
So I don't know if like Black Sands, if we would call them like the artists, but I started watching Black Sands, and that's what got me into like wanting to do comics.
I've seen the Black Sands ads. Yeah, they look really cool. And we got let's see here. Oh, okay. We've got so many different. Like I've seen that. I want to pick some of those books up because I've the advertising on them is always top notch. I'm jealous of their advertising.
Yeah, they do.
We got Tony popped into the chat. Here we go.
Hey, Black Sands. That was the one I was gonna name, right? Keep it real, bro.
Yeah.
Man. Black Sands is just it's like Dragon Ball Z to me, bro. And growing up on Dragon Ball Z, it was just the way he did it. I was just like, bro, I see where you coming from, like this, man. Like I'm definitely in on that one.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think that I had it's weird because for me, indie comics. I remember the first book I got. Oh man, I'm forgetting who sent it to me. Was it a Westworld book? I think it may have been a Worlds of Westfield or what it was called. Westfield. It was a little like it may have been newsprint, little insert that came with another book I got, and they had all these books from these companies I never heard of in there. And I'm flipping through, and I'm like, why are all the girls? Well, they all have these really big boobs, and why do I like this? Like, I'm like, what? This is awesome! Like, she's gonna float away, and it was like I kept reading this. I mean, and I went out and found these books, And other than TMNT, I didn't even think TMNT. I didn't even know it was indie. It was just those were the Ninja Turtles. That's it. Same with Spawn. I didn't really consider the fact that they were indie until much later on. But I remember those.
Right.
Yeah, we've been joined by Tony
Are
D.
we talking about of all time, or are we talking about?
Well, yeah, they said of all. He says GOAT, and GOAT is of all time. So indie of
Tom
all
McFarlane,
time.
man, come on now.
Tony, give us a quick introduction, and
I'll put the question back up so Tony can weigh in on it too. Oh, Tony, we can't hear you.
can't hear you.
Who we
How
talking
about
to?
now? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
There we go.
Hey,
There we go.
Tony.
All right, I have my mic off. Hi, guys. My name's Tony D, and I do a lot of different comics. I used to write for the Simpsons comics. I wrote for Bart Simpson and the regular Simpsons title. I did about 60 stories over the years. Probably my best one was I got to do a Treehouse of Horror towards the end, right towards the end before Bongo closed up shop. And I got to do a Ghostbusters parody with Homer, Lenny and Carl, and Frank as the Ghostbusters, but we call them the Ghost Smashers. So that was a lot of fun. I currently do the Webcomic Factory at the webcomicfactory.com. We do a different comic every day. And Superfrat at superfrat.com. And these days I'm also writing novellas, novella series called The Pineys, which is about a family of South Jersey hunters that hunt deer. They're really not deer, but you have to read the book to know what they are.
They're not werewolves, are they?
They are, well, they hunt the kin of the Jersey Devil. If you've ever heard of the Jersey Devil legend, the Jersey Devil's a little bit like the Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster of New Jersey, if you've never heard of it.
I have a character called Mr. Rusty, and he's based on the name Rouge, which is a Michigan version of the Jersey Devil.
Oh, cool.
In my book, I made him a demon, though. They never really say what he is, but it's funny you mentioned Jersey Devil because he has a feud. My Mr. Rusty has a feud with the Jersey Devil. It's actually his cousin, and whereas my Mr. Rusty is small and like basically a dwarf, his cousin, the Jersey Devil, is like slim and very attractive, and he's always been jealous about that. So it's they have a little feud going. I have great ideas. I'm just lazy.
So the topic at hand that we're discussing is who is the greatest of all time among indie comics. Tony, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I put the question back up to the topic. It was who is the top GOAT of indie comics, greatest of all time? Who's bringing in new readers, elevating their art form, sales, opening the door for new talent? That was the question, the topic.
It depends on how you define indie comics. I mean, for me, my favorite comics were the first comics back in the 80s. Grimjack, The Badger, Nexus. I mean, I don't know if you'd consider them indie comics. They were. I mean, they weren't Marvel and DC, but they were pretty corporate in their own way. And they were pretty big for their time. American Flag was another one. They're just amazing run of comics. I mean, if you've never read them, they're really great. John Ostrander did Grimjack. Oh God, I can't think of all the names now. The guy did Nexus. I can't think of the artist names off the top of my head, but it was just a really great.
Yeah, I know Mike Barron wrote Nexus, right?
Oh, Mike Barron.
Yeah.
And the Badger too.
Yeah, he wrote it, and I'm trying to think of the artist's name though. God, they picked him up though. What's the name? The guys at Comicsgate, I think, are doing them now. Nexus, and then Steve Rude. That's who I was trying to think of. Great comics. I mean, there's just so many, and some never get the exposure that other comics did. I remember a comic called Cape Town, and this came out before Powers, but it was basically Powers. It was the premise was a private detective and her partner was a former superhero, but he wasn't very good at it, so he becomes a private detective, her partner, but he's got superpowers. And they live in a city called Cape Town, which is full of superheroes, and most of their jobs involve investigating various superheroes and their, divorces and whatnot, like private investigators do, only with superheroes. So a little bit like The Boys and a little bit like Powers, and it was a really good series, but it only went 2 issues before the company folded and the creators kind of went their own way. But that happens with a lot of indie comics, you know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Why do I have Lola's avatar? Let me fix that right now.
Because
Put
I'm beautiful.
pick my art up there. There we go. There we go. There's my art. There we go. All right, now, yeah, the easiest answer for everyone is the greatest of all time is none other than Varian Grant. That's me. I'm the greatest. It is
You're an audience of one on that one in agreement.
I am burden of glorious purpose. It is my divine birthright, and I won't suffer any delusions from you people.
Your own indie princess doesn't even think that.
No, she knows that I'm not even. I'm like her 4th favorite artist. I keep slipping down the rankings.
Who's your son's favorite?
My son's favorite artist changes. It's like it's been at one point it was you, Eric. At one point he thought you were. I don't know where you went in the power rankings. I should post Caden's power rankings every week and see where he thinks artists are. I think right now he's really enjoying the work of there's a YouTuber that does drawing tutorials, and he's like, yeah, this guy's awesome, Dad. And I'm like, not better than me. But yeah, I mean the guy, he's I keep telling my son like he's on a Five Nights at Freddy's kick. He's drawing so much of that I'm like, son, can you draw something else? But then I remember if I go to the house I grew up in and look at my old art, there's probably lots and lots of He-Man and Terminator and Turtles and just like so much of the same art. Like, are you ever gonna get tired of drawing those characters? Sonic the Hedgehog. There's so many of them. So it's weird, but that's okay. I won't hold it against them. Let's take a look at a campaign here real quick because I want to bring this up, and Lola sent them to me earlier. Of course, my computer's like, nah, you can't see those.
I think with the topic, we were more or less. Can we really pin it down to one single goat? It sounds more like a Mount Rushmore.
True. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why someone hasn't done this, and I shouldn't put it out there because I should buy a 3D printer and do it. But your own customizable Mount Rushmore 3D prints. You put whoever you want on her. It'd be awesome.
I'm sure that's probably out there.
Yeah, I want one with 4 versions of me throughout my youth, adolescence, teenage years, and prime. Yes.
You can call it Mount Narcissism.
That's right. Yeah. Great. Hey, look how great I am. Let me pull up this campaign. And now before we talk about your campaign too, I want to actually, and this, I know the world might break when I say this, but I want to give a huge pat on the back to Kickstarter. They did something on their page I really like. We're looking at it says global supply chain disruptions are affecting creators and their projects. Here's what to know.
Great, that's awesome.
Yeah, every week I've been saying it. Like, hey, listen, you're gonna have to give these guys. There's a massive paper shortage. There's other problems with supply chain. You're gonna have to give these creators might not mean to be late, but they might be late. So give them some time. Give them an extra month or two before you really, you and understand what the situation is. So I kudos to Kickstarter for putting that at the top of their page, so that people can see, that, and they know, okay, there's an issue. We're looking at Aslan, the Awakening, a young woman's power emerging, a young woman's emerging powers are either humanity's salvation or its doom. This here is from Ajano, and he's way past his goal, $3,883, about $1,700 goal. First of all, I've seen this art today, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this is some nice stuff. I'm gonna play the trailer here, and let's see. Then we'll talk to you about it. Here we go. Very nice, very nice.
Awesome stuff.
Now,
Thank you.
no, I see here that, I mean, again, the art on here is fantastic. Now you're past your goal. Is the book finished? Is it ready to go, or you still got pages left?
No, it's gonna be done in December.
Okay. Issue 1, the premise of the story is there. Heavy is the head who wears a crown, but this one is worth it. In a faraway land of Marvel, a battle for control of the fabled crown of power is about to begin. Whoever gains control of it will rule the world. How they rule is up to them. Do they rule with love or fear? Those who desire to gain it for evil will stop at nothing to take hold. Humanity's only hope lies in the hands of the chosen, who were given extraordinary powers. Before they can win the battle for the crown, they must first win the war in their own minds. I like the character design in this book. This is really it's very would you say it's kind of anime-ish or manga-ish, Eric?
Yeah, there's definitely some influence there.
Yeah.
I love the girl's pose there in the front with that forced perspective with the hand. That's just wicked cool.
Yeah. I was like, but she's strong. That mask comes off, and you're like, oh no! Like, imagine you're flirting with her, and you're like, hey, baby, let's go back to the house and take that mask off, and you got a tragedy. You just go, no. But, a couple beers, and you'll be all right. So talk to us a bit about the project and the story. How is this something that you've been working on for a long time, or?
So actually, I started writing it around like 7 years ago, right? And I actually made a novel, like a version of it that was a novel at first, and that didn't go well. And then afterwards, I went to the army, and I spoke after talking to like some of my friends. Like they showed me like more comic books, because I didn't growing up, I didn't really read comic books. Like, I'm from Haiti, and we don't really have comic books like that. Yeah. Right. So then I found out more about comic books, and when I came back, I hired an artist, and then we did this.
You said the novelization didn't go well. What was the problem?
I think I just rushed it. Like, I rushed it a lot. Like, I didn't really put as much effort into it as I should have. So I just think it didn't promote it at all. I kind of just wrote it and released it, and just hoped that people would have found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I mean, I like novels. I've read, a ton of them, but I don't think that I could ever write one. It might be a challenge for me one day to sit down and actually write a novel and see what happens. And it'll be a novel where I force myself to not use any swear words during the whole novel. That'll be the real test for me. Can't put damn in there. Can't put anything.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
And that was something else too. Like, I wasn't really enjoying it. Like, I did it. It was just a whole bunch of writing. But this, like, I enjoy, like, every time the artist sends me the art, like, I really enjoy like seeing it come to life and stuff. So I enjoy doing this way more than writing a novel.
That's cool. And I see you got your bio here. Now you're looking to ship this book in January of 2022. Are you worried at all about those supply chain issues? I mean, that might end up being something you have to consider when you go to get this book printed.
So I kind of gave myself a month, because it's gonna be done. Like, he's supposed to be done in like November 30th, so early. So that's why I told people in January, so that way I have all December and January to ship it out.
That's a gorgeous image right there. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm terrified. Lola's book Lore is she's launching the Kickstarter.
I'm working on it right now.
Yeah, but she's already did the Indiegogo campaign. That was successful, so she's gonna do a Kickstarter to see if anybody wants it on that platform. But what's interesting is that she's been worried about those the printing process as well. And I think a lot of artists and creators, period, are just starting to say, okay, will there be paper? So again, we're reminding everyone, give these projects time, because there might not be any paper. And and creators, go out there and let everyone know. Don't just assume they know. Go on your campaign, go on your YouTube, wherever you've attracted customers, and let them know about these issues and if they're affecting you. If they're not, great. but if they are, or you feel they may, let your customers know. Digital copy. You have a digital copy. You have the which is $10 for digital copy, 25 or more for the physical and digital copy. And it has 6 additional pages. Gives you a brief history of the world. I like that. World building. You've got let's see here. Sorry, $50 pledge gets you the physical copy, a variant covered digital and physical copies, the prologue pages, an Aslan T-shirt, Aslan and Zayon character cards, Lionheart sticker, silver name in the thank you section. I gotta tell you, the thank you section stuff. Actually, I've put my name. That a lot of those books say, "Hey, you want your name in this thank you section?" And I always put yes and write what to put, and it's never there until today. I got one book, and I finally seen my name in it, and I didn't even tell that person to do it. They did it. So shout out to Marv, who I put my name in the thank you section of his book, which means anytime I can get my name in print, it's a good thing. It's a good, well, at that time it wasn't news, but that's different. That doesn't matter. And now your project, how much longer are you gonna keep this up? Was it how many days is that?
I think I got 18 days left. So
18
it's done
days.
October 30th, 31st.
Indie Vote Radio, who right now we have 71,000 listening. 71,000 people listening.
Wow.
So go over there and pick up that. Go check out Aslan. That's ASLAN. The Awakening over on Kickstarter. Go check it out. You got 18 days left. He is offering shipping to anywhere in the world. Let's make a Janu regret that decision. I want a Janu to call me. I want a Facebook call from him at like 3 a.m. Like, you son of a bitch. I want him to say, I'm hemorrhaging cash now. He'll be happy but sad at the same time. Speaking of which, I want to ask you a question. I know you said because we got listenership all over the world. A lot of times, we got Nigeria, Haiti, Africa. They're all over. But have you seen people pick this book up who are? Have you seen Haitians pick the book up? Are they interested in it at all? Or
no, I seen Australians.
Yeah.
Pick it up, but that's about it. Like, I haven't seen any
and that's where the shipping is going to be my friend. We'll talk about that shipping off air. Well, I know you got to get out of here. You said I think you have to leave at 10. So
yeah,
I wanted to get you the project. Yeah. Yeah, that shipping to Australia. Reach out to me afterwards, and I'll try to help you out. Meet with some people over there that might actually be able to print the book for you.
Yep.
And ship it, because shipping a book from the U.S., no matter how small it is, shipping a book to from the U.S. to Australia is very expensive. It's like $42 just to ship a book. So I mean, unless you can cover it.
I didn't think. I thought it was gonna be like $25. That's what I put.
Yeah, it keeps fluctuating. It's been
it can get very expensive. I had to ship one of my Kickstarter books to or a package to Russia, and it was insane how much it cost. Before you go, though, I wanted to mention there is a comic book store in Philadelphia. I think it's called Coffee and Comics. Are you guys familiar with it?
Yeah, comics.
I think I've heard of it.
Oh yeah, Coffee and Comics. That's the spot,
yeah. They specialize in carrying African American creators, and you guys should definitely contact them because I'm sure she'll buy some of your stuff.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Is that where you at, bro?
I'm near Philadelphia. I'm in South Jersey.
Okay. I'm in Bristol, right above you, really.
Oh, okay. Cool. Bristol, PA. All right.
And
Oh, that's going down, bro. We linking up.
Yeah. John, you're in Connecticut, right?
Yep, Connecticut.
Yeah. Eric, have we been to Connecticut yet?
There's a Terrificon, I think, and Connecticut. I haven't done either one of those yet. They've always been on my radar.
See, I asked Eric, have we been to Connecticut yet?
Most people don't come here.
Yeah.
Eric to retire.
Eric now found a hidden power I have. He just puts me under the wheel and points a direction. Go that way. And he goes to sleep. And when he wakes up, he's like, this is great. It's like travel. It's like a time machine. You know, I can drive straight through. I can do 18 hours without sleep, straight driving. You know, I'm good with that. We have to do a show in Connecticut. We'll have to, you know, and I like going around because we get to meet all you guys. So anywhere in the world, it's shipping. Get a T-shirt. I mean, you get a lot of stuff, and the art looks good. I love this character here with the white dreadlocks. I'm gonna back it. I'm gonna back it, and
Thank you.
yeah, and then John who will have to deal with me messaging. Where's the book? Where's the book?
Yeah.
I want to read it. Send me some sample pages. What's going on? So John, where can people find you if they want to reach out?
So people can find me on Instagram at Lionheart_series, and on Facebook at John Uzi.
All right. And make sure you go over to Kickstarter and back this project. Today we're going to let John get out of here a little bit early so he can get to his other engagements. Again, that's Aslan, ASLAN, The Awakening. Go check it out.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it. And I know you said this was your first time, but now you're part of the Indie Vault family. So if you ever want to slide in, just let somebody know, and we'll send you a link.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I have a question from Indie Vault Radio for you guys, and this one's funny. Okay, check it out. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm trying to read this with a straight face. Okay, I've been trying to find an artist, but the only artists that respond are on DeviantArt. People are laughing at me for using such an antiquated system to reach artists, but the people on Facebook don't respond, or when they do, they have ridiculous pricing. One guy quoted me $250 for a page, just pencils, and he gets to pick his inker. This is ridiculous. I need to find a talented artist that I can hire for my project now. Any suggestions? First of all, by the way, any artist that tells you he refuses to work with like anybody else, like I want to work with, I have to pick my own inker. The only artist I might let pull that will be Jim Lee, because I know he's going to get Scott Williams, and that might be
you got a dream team.
Yeah.
$250 a page and that kind of baggage. That's red flags for me right there.
Yeah,
that'd be a negative, my friend.
Yeah. Did you see Eric think about $250 a page? I could do that. What do you need?
I mean, like the guys in Batman didn't get $250 a page.
Yeah.
My friend was drawing Batman. He was only getting $175. That is way too high.
Yeah.
What how long ago was this that your friend was drawing Batman?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember Tommy Castillo.
Oh, love Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy passed on not too long ago.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, he was getting about, actually it was about $275 now that I think about it.
Okay.
But still, I mean, he was drawing Detective Comics. I mean, it was like the top of the heap.
Yeah, Tommy's Batman was great too, with those really long, spired ears, and he always made. And I think he did a run in Batman where Batman was a vampire, but Batman always had this more animalistic look when Tommy was drawing him.
I gotta be honest with you. I love long-eared Batman. Like the longer the ears, the better. My mother hated them. She's like, "Why does he have those?" Like the first movie, I remember her complaining to my father, like, "Why does he have those long ears? Why is it so dark?" You know, she was approaching her 40s, so everything was, you know, but if the movie's dark, I can't see anything. And why does he have these long, goofy ears? And I thought it was so cool. So every time I draw Batman, he has these really long ears. It's just, that's my Batman. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the shorter eared one. But yeah, I think I like shorter eared Batman because it's like, I mean, that's normally he's bulkier at that point, but you notice that like they expand Batman. If he's got shorter ears, he's buffer, but if he's got longer ears, he's normally leaner. It's weird. It's a weird thing you do as an artist.
You know, to kind of more poignantly answer the question here, I would say the onus is on you to really do your due diligence with artists. You're putting a blanket post out on Facebook. You're going to get bottom feeders. You're going to get people trying to take your money and not get back to you. You really want to find artists that you like, look at their stuff, follow them, Look at their posts. See if there's somebody that you might want to work with before you approach them. Because these guys, people who are doing this for a living, they're going to create a track record, and you want to see if you can learn that track record ahead of time before you start talking to them, and make sure that's going to be a good fit for your company. Make sure they haven't walked away. There's people who are notorious for, yeah, sure, I'll take your money, and then you never hear from them, or they're chronically late. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different attitudes and different persuasions out there of people, and you don't want to get taken for a ride. You got to protect your project. So do due diligence on your end first. Make sure the person is credible before you approach them.
That's excellent advice. I would also add that you should always audition them too, because the audition is really going to tell you if they have any kind of work ethic. The guys you want to hire are going to come back at you right away with a page that's professional in a very set amount of time. The guys who take it a week and make excuses are not worth your time.
Absolutely. Cut them loose immediately.
I've been that guy before. I was like, yeah, I can do it. Oh crap, I got to do this. That's been me.
I mean, life happens, but so people who are that way are chronically that way. So you're going to find out sooner or later if you look into their portfolio or their posts for a while. They've done other people bad too. So
you can tell. You can tell when a guy is genuinely like, oh man, I've had a real emergency here, and a guy who's like always got an emergency. You know what I mean? I've had so many artists on the Webcomic Factory over the years, and doing webcomics has really been great for me because it's allowed me to vet artists unlike any way before. Because I was in the print era first, and then I moved over to webcomics, and I find webcomics a lot more freeing because there's so much flexibility with it. In the world of print, you're stuck, and it's really hard. I mean, it's a huge commitment for a guy to draw a graphic novel or even a whole issue. So another bit of advice is, maybe build up a bit of library before you jump right into a big project. Maybe do a short story for a website or some panel gags, depending on, whether it's comedy or something you could do in short form for the website, and, work on small things to make sure the person you're dealing with is really committed. Because if you don't have that commitment, I mean, it's so hard to get a new artist. It disrupts everything. Another way to approach it too is to approach it like, I've worked on a few projects where it's been more of an anthology, where you have a cast of characters and then you have 3 or 4 artists working on it. And then this way, if you have a situation like that, you've got 3 or 4 stories with different art styles. If one of the artists flakes, you can always replace him.
Yeah. We're waiting for Tori. He dropped out by accident, but it says devices need to connect. So we're going to wait for his devices to connect, then we can add them.
Tonight has been a technical difficulties night, it seems.
Yeah, Tony's audio was spiking at some point. I don't know if you see that it spikes. I'm not sure I don't think it's his mic. It might be on our end. It might be something that StreamYard is encountering.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe it's my speakers are too close to the mic. I don't know.
And we have a guest. Look at she's listening in. I seen her have the headphones to her ear. I had to make sure my language is clean.
Maybe I'll do headphones. Maybe that'll help.
Hi, how are you? Oh, so cute.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, it's okay. No.
I got the whole setup, so I took Daddy's chair. And moved it to this corner of the room, and set up the little ring light thing. Yeah. And so she's just infatuated. She's like, "What's going on here?" Like, okay. And she Daddy's headphone. Yeah. So anyway, I apologize, man. I was actually listening and learning quite a bit. So I'm just
she's a YouTube star in the works. It's okay.
It's weird too, because I remember when she was first born, she was this little bitty baby, and now
Yeah,
he's
itty bitty. Oh yeah, you're watching it grow up, bro.
yeah. It's like now I feel really old. The next week she'll be in college, and I'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna go shuffle off to the morgue, I guess.
Oh man.
I have
Nah,
friends
man,
now
it's
who have
not your
grown
time,
kids,
man. It's not your time.
and I got friends who have grown kids, and I'm like, oh man, your kid's grown. Oh no, you know, it's rough. I want to show Tori's some work from Tori's upcoming comic. He's going to talk to us about it and explain to us a bit about the project. He's been working on the book for a while. I think when I first met Tori, he hadn't yet begun. Like he had the script, if I'm correct. You had been working on the script, but like no art was ready. And I want you to this art. Eric, this art is beautiful. Look at this.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, this art looks really good. I'm gonna put up some more too. I gotta upload it all into here because I tried to put it into a page where I can scroll through it all, but that wasn't happening. Look at this. Look at this. This is
Great color there too.
Mm-hmm. Tori, tell us a bit about this book.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to say it as best I can, man. In a nutshell, the reason it's so difficult for me to say what it's like, it's so difficult for me to just break it down because the name is it's called The Network. Okay, and The Network is just a little back history. You know, I grew up knowing about and idolizing like the Los Angeles / street thug mentality, man. Like that was what I looked up to. And those were like Greek gods to me.
Mm-hmm.
And The Network is basically a depiction of that. Yes, I did do prison time. So I'm just going to get that out there. I did 10 years prison time. I wanted to be a gang member and I wanted to run around and do MOB stuff. You know, you probably understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing is everyone's connected. In that world, everyone's connected to everything. You know, so, you know, so-and-so got murdered and Letitia's baby dad, who's also Angela's baby dad, knows each other, knows the killer, but she's also sleeping with so and so, who also is the brother of so and so, who's looking for the killer.
Yeah.
So it's that's The Network. That's exactly what it is. It's the
tangled web.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because my wife and I were actually talking, and she was saying I really don't like the logo. I was like, I feel you. I'm not really feeling it,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought about adding a spider web, doing the Godfather thing with instead of it being a puppet thing, doing like a spider web or some sort. I'm still designing it.
Let me see if I can pull up the logo because I think that you posted some pictures. Hold on, let me see here.
Yeah, I was going with that. I was off like the Dragon Ball Z feel, but it's deeper than that, bro. You know what I mean? Like it's my life story. Like literally, what's in there literally is like exaggerations of true events, stuff that I've really seen in my life. And what bothers me is, you know, like I live near Philly. I'm 30 minutes away from Philly, and we're at like what 500, 400 murder rate right now, and it's like every time you turn on the news, people are dying. Somebody has to say something, and in my book, you know, do I get upset with the killer? Absolutely, especially when it's an innocent. But I also have grown up with these type of guys, so I understand the killer as well. So I felt like it was time to write about it, bro. You know what I mean? Like let's write something. Let's exaggerate it like crazy, so the industry loves it. And don't read unless you read into it, you really don't know what you're looking at. It just looks cool, but once you start reading into it, you'll understand.
Yeah,
What's up, bro?
I agree with you. I was looking at your logo here, but before I talk about that, I wanted to say I think a lot of these books are cathartic for the creators.
Yes, sir.
So much, in fact, that I got a book called Catharsis, which is, it was me
Yes,
putting a lot
I
of
got you.
negative feelings that I had out there. I had been sick for a while. My sickness had just started. I had been in bed for like 4 months, so I just drew and wrote, and I wasn't, like it was tapping into really dark areas in my brain. And people said, "Oh, we need to do another part of this." I'm not that angry anymore. I kind of got it all out here. I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
with when I was doing the webcomic Chad the Fat Kid, that was
Mhm.
very much my art therapy for all the stuff that I endured in high school.
Hey,
I
Dave.
still had some baggage left over for.
Mhm.
And it's interesting that you said that because people want an issue too of catharsis. I haven't had I haven't had a big following say we want more Chad the Fat Kid, and I'm okay with it because with Dreaded Dinosaur Man, that kind of grew out of me thinking about rebooting Chad the Fat Kid, and I got to the point where I was like, I'm just kind of done with this.
Yeah.
It's gone for me, and I want to do this now.
Mhm.
And so I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Tony, have you ever felt like a project you said all you had to say with it and you were done with it?
Say that
Oh
one more
boy.
time. You
I was
talking to
asking
me?
Tony. I was asking Tony
Oh,
if he ever
Tony.
thought that
Okay.
got to the point where he felt he was done with a project.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, I get what you're saying though about. I think the best art is truth. You know, when there's a real truth and there's a real genuineness that comes out in your story, and when that's sort of tapped out, that's kind of when you're tapped.
Mhm.
I almost never give up the ghost on my projects. I will stay until literally I'm the last man standing on the project. So it's really hard for me to walk away from a project. I had a YouTube show I was doing. The only reason I walked away is because my partner walked away from it, and we were doing like a zombie thing. And God, I love the show, and I had episodes written. I even started writing episodes without him, and it was just like heartbreaking to have to leave the show, have to leave it behind. It was like leaving behind a child or something. But I get what you're saying. Sometimes you just, tell the whole story and you're done.
Yeah. Now this is the logo you said your wife doesn't like, and you're thinking about changing, Tori.
I'm sorry, baby girl just started crying out of nowhere, bro. I had my mic muted.
Okay.
Yeah, she's something else. But I will tell you this. I will tell you this, bro. What I give me 1 second, bro. I apologize.
No problem.
Just give
No
me
problem.
1 second.
When he was talking earlier about like thinking about spider webs and stuff, and now that I'm seeing this, I'm thinking how cool would it be for the circuits and the diodes to be wrapped into the letters like spider webs, but it's still the circuits and the diodes and
yeah, I mean, because you think network and yeah, that would work. Eric's good at
that communicates the undertones of what the network is.
Eric's very good at telling me, like he designs really good logos, but they live in Eric's head because when he starts talking about me, like I can picture that, and if you try to draw it, Eric's like, no, this is all wrong. I would, yeah, this is like I think Eric might be the client from hell, even though he deals with clients. Here's what I want. Okay, this is what you want. No, it's all wrong. More like this. It's I like the fact that you could do that though. You can move those diodes and circuitry lines. They connect to the logo. They look like spider webs. That could be done.
All right, man. What was your question? I apologize.
Oh, we were talking. Eric was giving a suggestion about the logo. He was saying that maybe we could take those the circuitry and the diodes and connect them to the logo and make them look like spider webs.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I'm still working on it, man, because I also wanted to begin my t-shirts endeavor, man. That's huge out here in Philly, man.
Now,
man.
Are you going to crowdfund this?
Yes. I actually, I was planning on doing it October 30th or 31st, like actually launching. But I got to be honest with you, man. I read some stuff today that said you have to wait 30 to 40 days for it to be even approved.
You shouldn't wait that long. Most people get theirs approved within 2 days. If
Cool.
that, and that's a
Sounds
long
good
time.
to me. Then we will be launching on the 31st for sure.
Yeah.
The book is completed, and we're just trying to get some funding so we can make a little bit of money back. Spent quite a bit on it, but also just so we can get ready for issue 2, because I've already started doing issue 2 and drawing it.
You can always submit it now and then get the approval, and you can go live on that day. So if you can submit, you can set your page up now.
Oh wow, I'm gonna do that now. Like, I didn't even know that, bro. Like, my wife and I have sat down and actually just like figured out what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it, how we're gonna put it together. We just haven't actually went on there and did it because I didn't know that's how it works. Actually.
Yeah,
That makes sense. But the network, man, it's a story, you know, and I don't want to hold you too long, but it's a story that has to be told. It's a story that, for me, it has to be told.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's that one thing sitting inside of me that if I don't do something with it, I'm going to go insane, bro. Like, went through a lot, bro.
Yeah.
Went through a lot. You know, got bullied, got stabbed, like been seeing the other uglier side of life, and then we've even been exercised in the penitentiary because I was the only guy getting comic book. It went from me having to fight because I would not go to the rec yard with my compadres.
Yeah.
I would go to the library to practice art, and you know, I got into a couple fights over there, bro. And now I'm watching this thing that I created in prison because the network was conceived in the hole. I had got in trouble, went to the hole, and I remember asking the nurse for requests to staff so that way I can draw them back. And I still have those pictures and everything. And it's going to be in the Kickstarter where if you spend a certain amount, I'm not going to say what, you'll just have to see, but you'll actually get a sketchbook with those, or a PDF with those pictures from prison in the hole that I drew, that I still have the first character designs of the network. Like, so we got some pretty exciting stuff, man. Not to mention maybe a Netflix type thing. I'm not saying nothing too much. Don't want to jinx it, but we're gonna do our best to make this thing come out. If you don't mind, look, I'm going to mute my mic.
This way.
I'm going to calm my daughter down, and then I will continue to listen, and I'll be right back. Just bear with me, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Understood.
No worries.
She's I remember those days. I remember having Caden, and he was he got pretty vocal at one point, but he was always
real quick, I apologize. She heard me say I was gonna mute my mic, come deal with her. Do you hear me crying right now?
She just wants to stream, that's all.
I'm just gonna sit back and listen.
Okay. Yeah. And Caden, he got to the point where now he's like, yeah, you know, and now he's 11, but he doesn't want to stream. He's like, I don't want to go on camera. Even though he goes on camera every day for school. And okay, all right, go ahead. Let's see here. What do you have here? Dave, the Supreme in the chat. Drawn Talk. Hey, I seen a book of yours. What was it called? Okay. I can't think of the name.
He's working on the girl with the mega fists right now.
Yeah. There was a guy. He had a book at the Great Lakes Comic Expo last weekend, and it was wrote by Tyler. Drawn by Tyler. I'm sorry. He has another book called Lilith. What's the name of that book? Because I was gonna take a picture of it and send it to Tyler and tell him I found him in the wild. But yeah. And thanks, Fizz. Fizz, they just discovered a new channel known as Indie Vault. You're probably going to see me around in the future. I appreciate it, Fizz.
Thank you, Fizz.
Yeah. Also, guys, look, we talked about this before, and I always mention it, but when you are shipping out those books, I've got a lot of books this week came in, and thankfully they were all using Gemini mailers. Thankfully. If in fact you're shipping out a book, preparing to ship out a book, please consider using Gemini mailers, as they're going to get your books there safely. They take a beating, those Gemini mailers. I've got a Gemini mailer that had been beat up, but the book was fine.
I got a question. Is there any way I can save money on buying my Gemini mailers?
That's a great question, Eric. That's a great question because you can. You can use our coupon code VOLT10, 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 and you get a 10% discount on your Gemini mailers. It is essential to do so because you want your books to get to the customer in the best condition possible. So please consider using Gemini mailer. And they got some different sizes too, because some people, they don't fit my book. Contact them. They may have a solution that they don't have posted on their site. Brian over there is a good guy. He can help you out. If he can't, he'll point you in the direction of somebody who can. So they're good people over there, Gemini. And in fact, they used to be Michiganders. That was kind of cool. Found that out. I was like, hey, hometown, I gotta help you. I gotta help you out now. So yeah, Gemini mailers code VOLT10, VOLT10. Save yourself 10% off on your Gemini mailers. Let's see here. Let me see here 1 second. And I'm
It's
gonna
a discount. It's a good discount. 10% on mailers. Mailers can get up there, If you got solid mailers and you got a discount on them, that saves you some overhead.
Oh yeah. I've got people who use the code and they're like, hey, and Gemini is very good at showing me how many people are using the code. So that's worked out. I got another coupon code. Real quick before I go to the next part of our show. With Eric, how do people would feel about a real-time code drop?
You mean one that's going to be good for a little while but expires?
Like, use it now. First person who uses it wins.
Oh. We would definitely want to preempt the audience for that and say, hey, you know what? On this date, we're going to have a whatever code for whatever.
Yeah.
Make sure you tune in and listen and be the first one to use it.
Yeah. I was thinking because, our friends at Blick Art Materials, who are sponsors of the show, I was thinking it would be really cool to maybe do, they were gracious enough to give us some coupons for the award show. It would be really cool to get some more codes and just drop those codes. Say, hey, here's the code. First person who goes and uses it. The reason why I seen a guy do that with PlayStation card codes, and he would give out a code and he'd show it on the screen, and people had to run over the PlayStation and try to add that code to their system very quickly so they can claim it, and it would say, oh, if you didn't, this code's been used. I thought it was kind of cool. I think we might do it here. We may have to try it. Do our little code drops.
From the desk of a small press publisher has apparently seen me on one of those little electric scooters.
Yeah. I would like to see Eric on one electric scooter. That would be funny. That would be
You'd be seeing me on the floor shortly thereafter, probably.
Did you fall, Eric? Were you trying to be cool?
In the private chat, I did drop a couple of links that Tony has on his Twitter for his stuff. So
okay.
You want to bring those up. If you've got anything else, Tony, that you want to promote, feel free to drop a link to it in the private chat.
And Trey, wanted to. He said, I know that he said he wanted to give a quick synopsis of his book really quickly because he couldn't because he's being inundated. What do you want to say about it?
Oh no. Okay, so the story, and I apologize about that. I was a little distracted. The story is actually about the main character is me, and I have a demon that lives within me, and the more victims that my character takes on his revenge quest, the more powerful the demon gets, which in turn, the more powerful Tori gets. Tori becomes torn when he reaches the breaking point, and that was years ago. And Tori's trying to live a normal life with his wife, who is also an assassin. But he's trying to live a normal life. They have a child. You've met her already. Actually, my wife and kid is in the book. And one day, some people come after my daughter. And as a dad, what would you do? You know what I mean? So Tori goes to town, especially not to give away any spoilers, but after that initial encounter with the enemy, let's just say that. And let's just say that the demon's getting what he wants. He wants bodies. Tori's going to drop them. And that's what the book's about. It's his quest for revenge and or to find his daughter. But I don't want to give away any spoilers. I just wanted to make sure the audience knows, like, that's what the network is about. We're going to hone in on Tori's story, but you also have other stories from Chiz, J-Bo, Lethal, a bunch of other characters, man. I've been writing this thing for 10 years now. So a bunch of other characters, you're going to see everyone's perspective, different perspectives. There's humor in there. It's murder in there. It's horror in there. It's just some serious stuff going on. So tune in.
I'm always interested in people who've had a story in their head for years because they have such an expansive world built, and it's you can see it. Like, usually, I got a friend who can tell me everything that happens. He can tell me what happened in issue 7, even though he's only got like 3 issues out. He's like, "Well, in issue 7, you're gonna find this out." I'm like, "Stop! Let me read issue 7. Don't tell me. I kind of want to be surprised." Yeah. And we'll make sure you put a link in there, and we'll bring you back on definitely, Tori, when that campaign drops, October 30th, 31st. We're gonna get you Halloween. I'll be at a con, but we'll make it work. Tony, now you've got so much stuff out. You've been a screenwriter, and I gotta tell you, I don't consider myself a screenwriter, but I've got so many books on it and the art of screenwriting. I think Adventures in the Screen Trade. There's another one.
That's a great one with William Goldman.
Yeah.
Best book you could buy on it.
And I actually got that. I got that from a comic book. Who was it? I forget which comic book creator or writer said pick that book up, and I got it, and it was a good read. But it also poisoned me because it made me start recognizing shortcuts and bad writing and weak acts. Like, oh, that second act was kind of why they put that? It was. I mean, I've been able to point out lazy writing, and Lola will tell you, I'll ruin a movie by saying, "Oh, that's where we're going." Okay.
Yeah. When it's hard after you're able to see how the sausage is made to enjoy a movie.
Buddy of mine who went to Full Sail College, he told me when he came back home after the first semester, he said, "I still like video games, but all I see is code. Like, I see code. I know how they did that now. When it's, and he could see little mistakes and little, shortcuts they took. And I'm like, okay. Sucks for you. You've been red pilled on video games. I'm straight. And I don't want to see. I
have a friend who's a cinematographer. Sometimes we'll meet for coffee or something, and he'll go, "I can't sit here. The lighting is terrible." And we have to move. I'm like, all right. But, he watches a movie on a whole different level. He's like, "Oh, my God." I'm like, "What? This is a great story." The lighting is terrible.
Yeah. He's sitting there looking at the lighting, and I have...
I hear you.
I have a phobia. There's nothing to do with professionalism. I have a phobia. You said about him sitting in lighted areas. Eric has noticed this. I can't sit in a restaurant with my back to the door. It's the weirdest thing. I can't do it, and I used to be able to until my father said he couldn't. I was like maybe 9 or 10, and he told me, "I can't sit with my back to the door."
Hey, you got to be ready to get the hell out of there if something happens.
It turned on a switch in here, like, that shit's dangerous. It's like, yeah, sit my back to the door. Anybody can walk up and do something to me. No. You got so much. You got Super Frat. You got the Pineys. What should I bring up first?
Bring up Super Frat. That was my first web comic.
All right.
We'll do it in chronological order.
All right. Let's bring up Super Frat. There we go.
Super Frat.
Hey, guys.
Oops, there we go.
Real quick,
Super Frat. The basic premise is.
What is it, Tori? You got to leave? I think Tori was saying he has to get out of here.
You got to go? Oh, it was great meeting you.
Yeah, I think he may have. Yeah, he was
He's
frozen.
frozen. He's
Yeah.
frozen now.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow,
Mhm.
Super Frat is the basic premise is Animal House meets the Justice League. So there was the worst frat on campus. It gets hit by a meteor, and all the brothers except one get superpowers. And they use them in the most irresponsible ways possible. So you can pretty much guess what happens from there. So
You mean to tell me their powers didn't get them a sense of virtue, or
nope, not at
okay.
all.
Yeah, that
Not at
you know.
all. This is in the strip right there. This is Ira. Ira is the invisible. Can we curse on this stream, or should we not curse?
You can go ahead and cuss it. TLDLSV.
His superhero name. They're not really superheroes, but his superhero name is the Invisible Fucker, because Ira can turn invisible, and he's also an anarchist. Like, he's one of the kids on campus who's like super political.
Mhm.
And so obviously, if you're an invisible anarchist, you can cause way more trouble than a regular anarchist. This is the first strip, No Turd Unturned. And this is a short story about when Dick, who's the pledge master, he's basically like a drunken Superman. He drops a deuce in the frat's toilet and it won't flush because he's indestructible and the turd's indestructible and they can't get it to flush. So that's the kind of humor I go for. Real highbrow stuff in Super Frat. This is MPH, and he is the speedster. He's from South Philly, and he was sort of inspired by Dr. J, because I met Dr. J when I was back in the day. I did a show about comics called The Comic Book Show, and we had a segment on the show called Celebrity Corner, and we'd interview a famous celebrity and ask them what comics they like. And Dr. J said his favorite comic character was the Flash because he was fast. And so I wanted to do a character like that. So Malcolm, MPH, he's the speedster. So he's constantly running to different places around the world and coming back to the frat house. So
I like that, and I like the fact that the turret won't flush. There's a lot of allegory in there. Turret is
yeah, we got about 1,300 strips at this point, because we started this back in, gosh, I actually started writing it in like 2000, but I don't think we started the webcomic till sometime around 2008. It was originally on the Silent Devil website when I was working for the guys at Silent Devil. And sorry, that's my site. Go to the Webcomic Factory next.
Okay.
Anyhow, we did it for a while on the Silent Devil site, and then eventually we moved it to its own site, which occasionally gets overloaded for some reason these days. This is the Pineys, my books about South Jersey. And the premise of the Pineys has to do with the legend of the Jersey Devil. And for those of you who don't know it, just briefly, there was a woman named Mrs. Leeds who had 13 children. The last one was born a horrible monster, the Jersey Devil. It ate the family, flew out the chimney, and has been haunting the Jersey Devil Pine Barrens ever since. And that's sort of the basic story, and there are all sorts of variations. On my variation of the story, what really happened was Mother Leeds was a witch, and she opened the portals to hell and flooded South Jersey with devils into the woods. And there was a neighboring village called Abe's Hat. And in Abe's Hat, the villagers formed a secret hunting society to hunt down the devils and send them back to hell. And their ancestors continue to hunt to this day. And that's me at the top there in a video. I did a commercial for the books. I'm portraying Hemingway, one of the main characters, and Hemingway Galloway is one of the current Galloway cousins who leads the hunt to fight the devils. And up in the left-hand corner there, you'll see the cover for Book 7, which just came out about a week and a half ago. Book 7 is The Paradox Piney, and we incorporate two different Jersey Devil legends. One is that the brother of Napoleon Bonaparte, Joseph Bonaparte, who moved to America in the 1800s, actually shot a cannonball through the chest of the Jersey Devil, according to legend.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in it. And then there's also another legend that U-boats during World War II would park off of the Jersey Shore and sneak on into Jersey to resupply themselves and get water and food. So we have a tie-in to World War II and about this U-boat crew that comes ashore, and then later they turned into undead Nazis, and the characters have to fight them later. So that's a pretty crazy one. The cover to book 6 is towards the bottom on the left, and that has a little pirate guy on the cover you can see, and that is John Bacon, Bloody John Bacon, who was a real guy during the Revolutionary War, and him and his men came upon some sleeping American sailors and massacred them in their sleep, about 18 of them. And this was known as the Long Beach Island Massacre. And it was considered a war crime during the Revolutionary War at a time when war crime was like, that wasn't even a term. And they hunted him down like a dog through the rest of the war. He fought in the last battle, the last official battle of the American Revolution, but they caught him afterwards at a tavern, and Captain John Stewart stabbed him through the heart. And they dragged his body through the streets until his brother begged the townspeople to please let me bury my brother properly. So in this book, Bloody John Bacon comes back to life and restarts the American Revolution, and the Pineys have to stop him. So there's a lot of supernatural stuff, a lot of monsters and devils and witches and South Jersey folklore woven into it, and it's comedy and it's horror.
I like the fact that you take on historical characters. I have a Cadillac in my story. And we flash back in Mr. Rusty's to the Cadillac settling in Michigan, and Rusty gets a hold of Cadillac's wife, and that was fun for me. That was a fun thing to write and to draw. Still got to get it colored. And I'm thinking about making that book just black and white just to make it easier for me. But yeah, I like this. Now the Pineys, you can buy this from your site, correct?
Yep, it's on Amazon. These ebooks are $2.99. Trade paperbacks are $7.99, and you can just get them shipped right to you. And if you got Kindle Unlimited, they're all free, so you can read them for free. I got a few people just reading them, and I still get paid. I got some videos about the Pineys there and the Jersey Devil, and I do videos on YouTube like everybody else, so you can find me there.
Now, let me ask you this: would you say the Pineys would it be kid friendly, or would it be teenager friendly? Or?
I would say it's about PG-13. I mean, it's up to you. Some people, I tell them stuff and they go, "Oh, my kid watches South Park. It's fine." And then other people are like, "Oh, Jersey Devil, oh." So really, as a parent, you got to make up your own mind. But I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, there's a little cursing in it. That's about it.
Should I fall in love with? Should I have a favorite Piney? And is it safe to fall in love with a character? Or are you gonna, do all the Pineys make it out? Don't tell me. Never mind. Just let me know. Might my heart be broken at some point?
I don't know. I mean, it's comedy, so it's hard to kill people when you're doing comedy. And plus, a lot of people, Hemingway's mom is a witch, and she's been dead for quite a while, but they keep digging her up to ask her questions from the supernatural world. So, I mean, that gives you an idea of the kind of supernatural stuff you're dealing with. Like almost every book, they have to dig her up, and Aunt Christie has to, give counsel from the great beyond. But then, of course, you can't let Aunt Christie out of her grave. Like she's chained there. She's chained to silver chains that are, tied to a heavy block, so she can't get out. But in one book, she does get out. So that's a real problem.
Yeah. Imagine that you're just trying to rest in peace, and here comes someone. If you ask you a question, what?
Exactly.
It's like my kid waking up in the morning. Hey, I can't.
And she doesn't want to rest in peace. I mean, one of the lines from the book is when Hemingway's like, "Back in the hole, Ma. You had your time. You had a good run. Now just get back in the hole."
Oh, that's. I mean, that sounds pretty interesting. Now, how many books are there in total? so far?
Right now there's 7. I just finished the first draft of book 9. I usually put out 3 a year. We got kind of jammed up on the summer book. The cover artist is Vig Starmax, who also draws comics on the Webcomic Factory. He, you artists, you're perfectionist, right? He must have drew this cover like 5 times because it just wasn't quite right for him, and he's a perfectionist. He's the man. So we got a little delayed, and the book came out in October, and usually I put one out in July and October. So I'm probably not going to put out the next book until next year, just because it's too close. It's getting too close to Christmas now with everything happening. But I usually do 3 books a year and or release 3 books a year. But I got plenty more in me. I already started book 10. I think book 10 is going to be short stories, like a collection of short stories with the characters that kind of come together at the end. But these novellas on Amazon are really great because, you talked about writing novels earlier. It is a real drag to write a big novel. But writing a short novel is kind of fun because you can really keep them short, pithy, and punchy. When I write a Piney's novella, it's about 80 pages in the computer on like Word, single spaced. And that's, it's pretty good. I usually bang it out to about 60 to 70 pages in the first draft and then just go back and sort of put in extra stuff to get to 80 pages. But that's kind of the minimum. And then, depending on how it's laid out in Amazon, it's like 126 to 150 pages. And that's a nice, short, punchy novel. I don't like novels that are too long. I once read Harlot's Ghost by Norman Mailer, and it was 1,500 pages, and it ended with "to be continued." I wanted to punch Norman Mailer. Just too long. Too long.
You know what? A friend of mine in high school, he got me turned on to Robert Jordan. All the Robert Jordan Wheel of Time books of it, and I remember reading them. Like especially when he went away for the summer. Say, I'll read this, and we'll have something to talk about when he gets back. And I remember reading those. And I'm like, this guy just does not know how to end the scene. He just like, hey, but the man's good. Don't get me wrong, it's Robert Jordan, but well, depending on, I think he's very good. But it's just, it was like, man, he would just go on and on and on, and yeah. I also wanted to say, you thought about the pages, just very quickly. Brandon, who's the host of Pitches Be Crazy on Indie Vault, I gave him his first writing gig, and he wrote a story for me. And I remember he came in with a 30-page comic that he had wrote on 4 physical pages. And I remember he handed me the script, and I said, "This is it." He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "This is 30 pages." Yeah. And I remember flipping through it, and I'm like, no, because he didn't quite understand how to, script a comic. So he just kind of wrote like it was. And I joke with him today about it. It was bad. It was bad. It was there was no way we were going to get 30 pages out of those 4 physical pages that he had wrote. But yeah, how much have you wrote that you had to take out the book, so you had to go back and say, okay, I can't do this?
What do you mean? Like, how much do I?
Yeah, that you edited out. Like, okay, maybe the story doesn't go that way.
I'm at the point now. I'm an older guy, so I've been doing this a long time. So I'm at the point now where most of what I write is what I wanted to put in it. You know what I mean? Like, it's very rare that I'll write a chapter and go, "Wow, this is going nowhere." I did. One of the things that really sharpened my skills, and I recommend this to anybody, is I did improv. I was in the improv scene in Philadelphia for about 15 years. And improv really teaches you how to hone your creative skills in such a way that you're constantly burning through ideas, but at the same time, there's a structure to pushing a narrative forward in a scene that applies very well to scenes in a book or in a comic. And as long as you're heightening everything in the comic or in the story, you know, you're driving to an ending, the ending will reveal itself to you. And once you sort of hone that skill, you won't have a situation where you paint yourself into a corner, because you can't. If you just stick with the process that way, you'll constantly realize that everything you do drives to the ending and reveals itself. And every mistake you made, you just turn it into a move. So, for instance, I made one mistake in the Pineys where I referred, one of the things in the book is that the Galloways are this really large extended family, like my family, and because they've been around for a couple of hundred years, and they've got all these relatives, like a ridiculous amount of cousins. Mm-hmm. And I made a mistake early on referring to one character's mom as Carol instead, and then later I forgot and then called her Julie. So I had characters coming up to this character Shelley, who's in the book, and saying, "Aren't you Carol's daughter?" No, Julie. So later in the series, what I've already planned to do is I'm going to introduce Aunt Carol, and Aunt Carol will look very much like Shelley, and that will explain why. And they're all related, so it all works out. Mm-hmm. So like that's turning a mistake into a move, right? And it makes it cool, right? Because it's like, oh, that was weird. Why did he do that? And then later it's explained. You go, oh. So it's things like that if you follow that process, that sort of improv building process, you're just saying yes, and you're building on everything. You're driving to a narrative. You're heightening all the characters' various traits. For Hemingway, he's the world's greatest hunter, and he's obsessed. What the characters do in the hunting lodge is when they kill a devil. In order to kill a devil in the book, you have to cut out its heart first, and then you have to chop. You want to chop off its head, because what happens is they don't really die when they're killed. Their bodies get sucked back into hell. So the hunters cut the head off. So when the bodies get sucked back into hell, they reappear in hell without the head, and they can't find their way back to, our world. And then they mount the heads in the lodge in a secret room in the back that nobody else sees. So they have all these heads of devils that they've killed over hundreds of years. And so that sort of gives you an idea of why the characters do what they do. And Hemingway's just obsessed with getting trophies. And so that's a running gag in the book. Like, even though he may endanger everybody, he's like, well, couldn't we just make a quick sidetrack so I could kill this one devil, because I haven't killed one of these yet. And, that's his character. He's an obsessive hunter. And then meanwhile, the rest of his life kind of like falls apart. Like, he's supposed to run a business and he doesn't really run it very well. And his cousins have to constantly loan him money. And, so we constantly heighten that. And his other cousin, Lewis, who's one of the characters in the book, is constantly, he's the panicky one. So almost every scene in the Pineys where there's a monster involves Lewis put in the most horrible position ever, where Lewis ends up just screaming, "Oh my God, I'm going to be killed. Help me, help me, help me." And, because he's the weakest one. If it's Hemingway, it's not any fun, but constantly putting Lewis in danger and constantly having Hemingway make fun of him is one of the dynamics that drives the characters. So you constantly hype that over and over again. So if you're driving to a narrative in which at the end there's going to be some big monster, you have to have Lewis confront him at the end, because that'll be the funniest bit, right?
Mm-hmm. I was thinking it's probably nothing worse, no surer hell than going through eternity headless. Double entendre. But I did want to say I'm also a product of the things that I got to watch as a kid. My aunt would she liked old Twilight Zone and Lost in Space, Nick at Night stuff.
Such good stuff.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I was exposed to that very early, because she'd sit there and watch it for hours. Like, she would make videotapes, and she still has them, like VHS cassettes of nothing but like Twilight Zone. So some stuff they won't even show anymore because it's problematic nowadays. But the old Lost in Space, I loved it because I loved Dr. Smith, because he was so he was such a scaredy cat and such a like, and he was sinister. And so
He would be your favorite.
yeah, and so when I'm writing some of my characters, and I have these ensemble casts, I'm like, who's my Dr. Smith? Who's that character that you really can't trust? And it's weird because Dr. Smith, Starscream, these are characters you should not like. You should find reprehensible, but I love them. Like, and I mean, I love old Dr. Smith from the old original TV show. I don't.
Right.
Gary Oldman's was good, but it was like he was like clearly not as he was like straight up evil. Like the original Dr. Smith just wanted to survive. He would do anything to make sure that happened. Dr. Smith on the Netflix Lost in Space, which I'm not sure if that's even coming back, is it?
Yeah, there's a new season. We're coming out.
Okay.
It'll be the final one, I think.
Okay, she's completely evil. It's like, come on. I want to see cowardly, Dr. Smith, who's like, I just want to survive. They have a problem.
She's got those qualities, but they have yet to introduce any humanity into her whatsoever.
Right. Because Dr. Smith, he wanted to survive, but he had a soft spot for Will.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't. If you want to do it, if you want to modernize Dr. Smith, let me play him, because no one will try to get out of a sci-fi situation, like a black man. I'm not going down that planet. I refuse. There's aliens down there. Let me do it. I'll be Dr. Smith. We'll do that. Let's make our own backyard Lost in Space. And we'll work out that way. We'll do it. I'll be Dr. Smith though.
So do I get to be a robot?
Yeah, you could be a robot. Yeah, it'd be awesome. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. I have a robot, and I have I love it because it's the old. I've told my wife that should I become a millionaire, there's gonna be a lot of weird stuff I'm gonna buy. Robots are gonna be one of them, and just a big robot sitting in the foyer when you come in the house. And I want it on at all times, like at night, especially at nighttime. I wanted to, I may have to get a voice actor to redo the voice. They'll say, "Danger, Grant family, danger! A visitor is here."
Dr. Smith was the best. He was just driven by fear.
Mm-hmm.
And he had these schemes, but he could fall apart at any moment if he was confronted too harshly, and he'd just be like, "I can't do this. Ooh, you can take her as tin can." And he hated the robot. I love that he hated the robot.
I was gonna make a comment, but I said, "Nah, I'm not gonna say it.
I think we're all thinking the same thing."
Yeah. Did it start with Dr. F? You can't run it with true. Like, I know a doctor like that. Anyway, it's I do think that Dr. Smith was one of the best characters in sci-fi history. He doesn't get enough credit. I like this book too. I'm gonna have to get some. My kid loves horror stuff. He loves scary stuff and hot food. He lives dangerously. He's probably gonna be a daredevil when he gets older. I'm getting very good insurance on him right now. Oh, should I jump the Grand Canyon? Yeah, okay, all right. I'll be a millionaire tomorrow. No, I we're gonna have to get him some, because I think that he'll like that. I think that he'll like that. And I'll wait too right before we go to New Jersey and let him read them. So he'll be really freaked out. Like he has some of the Michigan Children's books, I believe, and I don't know how he sleeps at night knowing that, hey, this stuff said this happens in your backyard. So, so you've got Super Frat, you've got all this stuff. You're definitely you've got a lot of stuff that you put out. How do you keep it all together?
I don't know. I just do it every day. I mean, the Webcomic Factory just keeps me busy doing a different comic every day.
Mm-hmm.
I do, I do Super Fat twice a week, and then videos, and it's just, you got to just keep moving forward with it as best you can. And I don't really have a social life anymore. No social life. That's just comics and games and writing and all that kind of stuff for me. This is where I live. And I just love, coming up with ideas and executing them, and, executing them in the lower form. I just don't have enough time in the day to write enough stuff. Really,
Yeah.
It's it's funny. You go through different processes over the years. Like early on, I was a lot like a lot of rookie creators. You do this stuff because it's just so much fun and novel at first. And then later, as you do it for a living, it kind of changes, but it's still great. But it's different. You got to be very disciplined.
Mm.
You got to write every day. If you're a writer, you really do.
Mm.
You have to give yourself deadlines. You have to be, and it's so funny because you start out as that crazy artist, just kind of all over the place, but then you're forced to be very, very disciplined in order to make it work, or else you got to do it like, at night after work or whatever.
I remember Stan Lee said, it's like another Stan Lee quote, but he said, a good writer should also be well read. And it's true. I mean, you got to read, and I've got lots of books. People asking me, you read all that stuff? Yeah, I'm kind of a lame. I stay up at night reading. I'll forget the name of the author unless it's like a book that's ingrained in me. Like my father was big on me reading Carnegie when I was a kid, and so I need to read this and read this, and he gave me all these books to read, and I read them all. And then you get older, you read them again because you don't quite understand. You get a little older and you read it again and again. And now, here I am. I think I was it must have been about 10 years ago, the last time I read How to Win Friends and Influence People, where I'm like, oh, okay, I get some of these concepts now. It's pretty much don't be an asshole. Like,
be nice to everybody.
Yeah. I got another book though that I forget the name of it now. It'll come to me later on. It'll come to me middle of the night. But this guy basically calls all of it out. I'm like, way to do it, man. Carnegie's been dead for how long? You're like, yeah, this book is trash. The author doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm like, wow, you're faking being interested in something. He never said fake being interested. He never said that. He said, take interest. But anyway, that's another. Sorry. Eric, Scott tried to get in. He's having internet issues, but here is the Flock. Now, I got my copy of the Flock the other day. It's not near me. I thought it was near me, but it's not. He's got a new one up, the Flock series, Golden Age inspired full comic book full of action adventure printed in the modern age, free United States shipping. I haven't got a chance to. I just opened it, so I haven't got a chance to read it yet. But I was waiting for this book. I was waiting for it, and it finally showed up. And let me play the intro or the video here. There we go. That is currently on Kickstarter.
No, it looks like he made it already.
Yeah, he's over his goal. He's got 18 days left too. 20 backers. So this campaign, the highlights are issues 1 to 3 available, free USA shipping, all ages comic, fast fulfillment, passionate creators, and I got mine. It was sent in the Gemini mailer because Scott knew that I would be like, Scott, what is this? It's Scott's usually cooking too when he's on the show. I don't know if you noticed that. Like you'll hear pots and pans in the background, lightly, and then he'll oh, I just got through cooking. It's like, what'd you cook? And he made this feast, and it's like, are you serious? I'm kind of hungry now. You start looking at like DoorDash, you're like, what am I gonna order? Scott's eating. This book is I haven't opened mine yet. I've opened it, but I haven't read it. I haven't opened the book yet. So I'm looking forward to it because I was waiting on this one. So, and we're gonna review it on indievolt.com as well. So we'll have reviews up. I gotta get into those. So yeah, looks pretty good. That is over on Kickstarter, folks. People said that we don't do Kickstarters on IndieVolt.
I think we're pretty even-handed, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody tonight was on Kickstarter.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I think everybody tonight was on Kickstarter. In fact, we're gonna step away from the Flock series. Check it out on Kickstarter. You got 18 days left. International audience at 81,207. So thank you guys. Also, if you are waiting for a where are my campaigns? I had them all. Oh, there it is. Okay. If you are looking for a campaign, if you're looking for something to back on Kickstarter, maybe you're a Kickstarter advocate and you want to just promote Kickstarter and look at Kickstarter books, Lola on Indie Princess is bringing lore to Kickstarter. Here's her setup page. It's just a draft of the project, but
tomorrow is launch day. I'm having a launch party on Geekgasm at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Ooh.
Good luck.
Yeah. She's already funded this book on Indiegogo, but now they're bringing it over to Kickstarter. So,
and there's some exclusive stuff for the Kickstarter.
Oh, let me scroll through and see if we see something. If maybe you've put a little hint in there what we're gonna get. Oh, a Daphne Lage cover. Oh snap! You're
There's
Daphne
even
Lage,
a Daphne Lage tier where you get the book with the cover, and then you get the original art for the print and the cover.
Oh, there's a bottle opener key in the ring, Blair's ring. Here we go. Yeah. Now this is an adult comic, so this is not for the kiddies. You want to be in you want to get this stuff is only for adults.
Oh, okay. So is this what would be the rating? Movie rating.
A movie rating for this one? Would you say
R?
It was like a hard R.
Yeah, hard R.
Hard R.
I've seen some of the pages. I'm gonna say it's probably a bit rougher than an R.
NC-17, right?
She might be headed for NC-17. She might be headed for an X rating. Honestly, it will be box office poison.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be like, you want to show what? No, we can't do that. This is like it'll be very toned down. People will be like, wait, it's not in the book. Like she's gonna have to hire like Axel Braun to direct this, and it'll only be available.
You could have the X-rated ones be different tiers, like
yeah.
But this is my first book. I wrote it and created it.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And Lola, we're gonna obviously look at your book. I mean, you're a host on the show, so you kind of have an unfair advantage. But guys, I want to thank you for being here. So we've had Tori on with the network. We've had Scott in. We've had I'm gonna say his name again, Mr. Bosey in with his book Aslan: The Awakening, and we've got Tony. Who's he's got a lot of different stuff. We're gonna put his links in the description as well, so you can go check out his at a Web Comic Factory, as well as the Pineys, which was like a fantastic book. But Tony, you could tell them better than I can. Where can they find you online?
Check me out at superfrat.com, thepineys.com, and the webcomicfactory.com. Also, you can search for my work on amazon.com, including the Pineys. I've got other books on political satire, like Wokistan, a novel, Holly Woke, another novel. I also wrote F.U. I'm Italian, Why We Italians Are Awesome, a funny book on Italian heritage.
We are awesome.
We are. I sensed you were awesome. So obviously. Now you can get this book and use it to train Metagons is what it would be for you, So you give them to the Metagons and say, hey, here you go. This is what Italian means to me. And we just passed Columbus Day, very big day for Italian Americans. So anywho, thanks for having me on the show, guys. Really appreciate it. Great to meet you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Dreaded Dinosaur, where can people stalk you at?
Well, I'm at Dreaded Dinosaur on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those wonderful social medias. And you can also head over to Webtoon and Tapas to read The Dreaded Dinosaur Man. I am back working on strips on that. Hopefully have something new up by next month as I work through my other paid work log. I can find time to get to my little passion project. And if you're also in the Detroit area, head on down to Michigan Avenue, 1846, and check out the mural of Dreaded Dinosaur Man while it's still up. Really, really cool thing to check out. So anyway, and then I'll be back here again next Tuesday.
All right. Let's see here. Sorry, messaging.
Yes, that was my turn.
Yep.
I don't want any stalkers, guys. I'm dealing with that right now, unfortunately. It's getting really weird. But you can friend me and talk to me. I will talk back, just nothing creepy. If you want to track me down, go to Linktree Indie_Princess, and you can find all my links there. And catch me tomorrow night, like I said, for Geekgasm at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the launch party of Lore on Kickstarter.
Very good. And of course, you can find me, KYD_V, on Twitter and then Facebook. And I like to talk comics to an extent, then I'll eventually go to sleep. What? I can't stay up anymore, guys. I'm getting old. You remember that realage.com will show you you may think you're 24, but your body and your habits make you about 63. Well, my real age says that I'm about because of my habits, I'm about 72.
Oh no!
It's at 72, and I'm like, oh, I don't have long. I better I better make sure that I make the most of it. I better start writing like I'm running out of time. Alexander Hamilton. Start writing. Make sure, guys, to check out indievolt.com, ledg.us for getting your independent comics into comic book stores all over the globe. That's ledg.us, Liberty Entertainment Distribution Group. Very good company. I don't know. I own it. And there it is. There's Belle, a beautiful Belle, and ledg.us. Go check that out. If you want, I didn't do it today, but if you want to put your question, add your questions, IndieVolt Live at indievolt.com. Include IndieVolt Live in the subject, and please keep those emails to 90 words or less, so I can put them on one of those nice little cue cards, and you'll love it. You'll really pick on your question. IndieVolt Radio is on right now. Download on Google Play. If you have an iPhone, you're going to download the TuneIn app, type in IndieVolt Radio, and you'll bring us right up on Streamer. Also, you can listen to us on the Alexa device. Any Alexa device in your home, just ask her to play IndieVolt Radio, and she will do so. And if radio isn't your thing, then check out IndieVolt TV on Roku. I'm going to make all new graphics tonight because these are old. IndieVolt TV on Roku. It's our basically the Netflix of indie movies. It's some long form content. These videos, like when YouTube used to say you can't put that on YouTube, we'd say okay, not a problem. We'll take it over to our private television station where you have no power. And so we definitely appreciate you guys checking that out. IndieVolt TV. Download it today. It's free. I mean, no reason not to. Again, I have been Varian Grant, Indie Princess, Dread Dinosaur, joined today by Tony. Check out the Pineys. Check out all the books we've had. Remember, try to leave our beloved indie comic industry in a better condition than you found it every day. And buy indie comics, especially ours. See you guys soon. See you Thursday morning when we return. Hopefully Randy Zimmerman will be feeling better and be back with us. Randy, get well soon, sir. We're all pulling for you.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. Sorry we didn't quite get to everybody's comments, but we'll do better next time.
Oh yeah. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Me take us out of here. There we go.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. close me up? On what ground?
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
You're winning, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Everybody out at once.